Today we have with us Dr. Amara Satarasinghe to deliver the guest speech. Dr. Satarasinghe has been working as the Director General of the Department of Census and Statistics since 2015. Having studied at Thurston College, Colombo, he graduated from the University of Colombo with a first class in physical science. He obtained the Masters of Degree from the same university in Applied Statistics and a Masters of Degree. On a Fulbright Fellowship during the 1991 and 1992, he visited the University of California of the United States for further studies. He conferred the Doctorate of Philosophy in Applied Statistics in 2002 by the University of Peradenium. We cordially invite you, sir, Dr. Amara Satarasinghe, to deliver his speech.
Good morning to you all. Dear students, lecturers, invitees, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure to address you on this Stat Day organized by the Stat Circle of the University of Colombo. And I'm thankful to the Stat Circle and the organizing committee for inviting me to deliver the speech of the guest speaker. And today the theme that you have selected for the Stat Day of the 2017 is Statistics for a Better Tomorrow, and therefore I thought of focusing my speech on the same theme, that is how important it is to use statistics in Statistics for a Better Tomorrow. And we all know that, and it was told several times even today, the statistics plays a crucial role in planning, implementing and monitoring of the development projects. We have a reason for that, because statistics provide a scientific basis for decision making. And today we are celebrating the 14th Stat Day organized by the Stat Circle of the University of Colombo, and I think that this will give us another opportunity to recognize the contribution of the statistics can make beyond the numbers to substantive inferences and guidances. I'm going to in my speech I'm going to focus on two areas. In the first area, let's have a look. Let's talk about the importance of statistics and about the national statistical system of Sri Lanka. And in the second part of my speech, I'm going to talk about this better tomorrow. Your theme is statistics for a better tomorrow. We'll see how can we define it, and also how can we make use of statistics for making a better tomorrow. And also I would like to draw your attention for the newly emerging areas on which you can focus on your research studies in the next 10 to 15 years. We all agree that scientific evidence provide better results than those presumed on intuition or gut feelings. Because if you don't use statistics, you may end up with failures in the projects. Since I'm representing the Department of Census and Statistics, I'm going to basically talk on the practical side of using statistics for the betterment of the country. And over the past few decades, there has been an increasing awareness among the importance of using statistics for decision making. But there is still a need for promoting appropriate use of statistics in assessing situations, understanding reasons, making valid inferences, and making right decisions. We need to promote use of statistics. It's very important. And before proceeding further, we need to identify who the data users are, or for whom we are producing data, for whom the statistics are produced. There are basically two types of data users: institutional data users and the non-institutional data users. When you say institutional data users, they include organizations, government departments, ministries, UN agencies likewise. And non-institutional users, based on their needs on the statistics, there are three groups of non-institutional users. Those are, the first one is users with general interest in statistics. If you take journalists and also general citizen, students, teachers, they have some sort of general interest in statistics. There is another group of non-institutional users. Those are users with specific subject matter interest. They are policymakers and marketing analysts likewise. And also finally, we have another group of non-institutional users. They are researchers. Now, why we need to identify these groups clearly? Their statistical needs are different. And even for example, even for dissemination strategies need to be changed according to this type of users. Now, if you take journalists, the non-institutional category, that is users with general interest. Example is journalist. If you take journalist can be provided with press releases. When we are releasing statistics, we can prepare a news release summarizing the key findings of these statistics. They will take the message to the citizens or public at large. But if you take users with specific interest like policymakers, we have to provide them with a policy brief to handle the emerging situations, to handle the issues. I would like to share some actions that the policymakers or the authorities have taken based on the findings or based on the information that we have passed through the policy brief. If I am going to take one example, as you know, the census department conduct various household surveys, institutional surveys, and the department compiles various economic indicators. And out of these surveys, one of the surveys that department conduct is labor force survey. And we have been conducting that survey over a long period of time. And during all this time, we came to know that the female labor force participation rate of females is around 35%. It's like stagnated. And because of that, overall labor force participation rate remains around 54%, 50 to 55%. But if you take Korea, it is 72%. Female labor force participation rate in Korea is 72%. But if you can bring the others into the labor force, what we can do is we'll be able to improve or increase the GDP in the country. And we raised this issue recently through the policy brief, and I am happy to inform you now there have been a cell set up to address this issue. If I am going to take another example, in Sri Lanka, we are having an aging population, and about 12% of the population are in the age group of 60 years and above. And recently, the department conducted a national health survey jointly with the Faculty of Medicine, University of Colombo, and there we got to know that 1 out of 2 of elderly population, that is population above 60 years, are suffering from a chronic illness. You know the nature of the chronic illness, it's a lifelong, so you are inserting a big pressure on the economy because you have to treat throughout the lifetime. So therefore, we raised this point and we gave a policy brief on this, and I'm happy to tell you that now, and also the seriousness of this issue is we will have to change the way that we provide health services to this elderly population. You can't treat these two groups together. And I'm happy to tell you that now the health ministry has taken steps, and now they are conducting a survey to assess the readiness of our health system, to assess the readiness of our hospitals in geriatric care. And also the another survey that we are conducting is demographic and health survey, and that also gives you information on the malnutrition condition of the children under 5 years, and we have conducted the last round in 2016 and hope to release the results soon. And now let's look at the role of the National Statistics Office before I come to talk about the better tomorrow, using statistics for better tomorrow. We all need to know about what this Census and Statistics Department is doing, and also what is the place of the Department of Census and Statistics within the national statistical system of the country. In Sri Lanka, what we have is a national statistical system. What does it mean? And within that system, it's true that the key agency in the system is the DCS, that is the Department of Census and Statistics. And but there are other agencies like Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Agriculture. They are also producing official statistics. So therefore, and there are some countries where the National Statistics Office is dealing only with few areas, sometimes only with the population, sometimes only with the demographic characteristics. There are separate agencies. If you take India, there is a separate section, separate department dealing only with the agriculture statistics. But here in our country, so we are basically collecting, compiling, and disseminating most of the demographic and socio-economic conditions, statistics on demographic and socio-economic conditions of the country. We have to remember that there are other agencies in the system. Say, for example, if you take the Ministry of Education, investing a lot, they are conducting an annual census on the schooling system. They collect information on children, they collect information on teachers, they collect information on the infrastructure of the schools. If we are not aware about these things, we will not start using that data file. Say, for example, we at the department, we conduct this household income and expenditure survey, and with that, one of the indicators that we are compiling is the head count index. That is the measure on poverty, that is used to measure the poverty. But since this survey is conducted only once in 3 years, we don't have information during that period, during the inter-survey periods. But there are other lot of statistical activities, lot of studies that you can undertake, because you have school census data, you have information on the infrastructure facilities of the schools at the DS division level, even at GN division level. If you come out with a model to predict the poverty based on the variables available with the infrastructure facilities of schools, that can be used as a model to estimate the poverty levels, or at least a proxy indicator on poverty by using that census data, school census data that is available annually. So that is why I am emphasizing this one. We all should remember that what we have in our country is a national statistical system. We have lot of data, official data available with many other departments and ministries. And as I told you, the main role of the Department of Census and Statistics is to collect, compile, and disseminate official statistics on the demographic and socio-economic conditions of the country. And department is carrying out its work independently. I think I must tell you very proudly, we are enjoying that independence without interference of anybody, with no interferences at all, because it is very important. We have to, when we are specially compiling the economic indicators, we have to give the right picture to the government. We have to give the right picture to the government, then only government can take corrective measures. It's very, very important to be independent. In most of the countries, national statistical officers compile these economic indicators independently. Wherever these indicators are compiled by other agencies, I think if you lose the independence, that's not good for a country. And this is also one of the key fundamental principles in compiling official statistics, in compiling reliable, usable, and scientifically valid official statistics. the department has taken several measures to facilitate users using official statistics, especially in decision making process. You have to excuse me because I am using this decision making process that is with what I am living with. So therefore, I think it is matching with your things also. Basically, I am talking about using these statistics for decision making in developing the country, that we have to give the priority for this one, if you look at from my angle. And we have done several things to promote the use of official statistics in decision making. If I am going to quote few, and we have taken action to widen and deepen the data series, because we have to look at the emerging issues in the country, and to address those issues we have to come out with data series. And if I am going to quote some of the data series that we have developed recently, in the year 2016 we were able to conduct 4 household surveys. It's an enormous amount to handle for a national statistical office, but we have to do it because that is the need of the country. That is the need of the country. One of the surveys conducted in 2016 was the latest round in the household income and expenditure survey. With this survey, number of indicators are compiled, and one of the indicators so compiled is poverty, the head count ratio, which is a measure of the poverty. We all know that government has declared the year 2017 as the year of eradication of year of poverty eradication, and this survey was conducted for the last time in 2012-13, and we found that poverty was at 6.7% in 2012-13, and hopefully within next month we will release the latest findings on the poverty statistics for the year 2016. And now we need these statistics for planning and also impact assessments. Now the example that I quoted is the one that can be used for planning, because that is going to be like baseline data. We will have the poverty situation in the country for the year 2016 and 2017. Lot of programs will be implemented in controlling the poverty or eradicating poverty. When you conduct the survey next time, then we can see what was the impact of those programs. And I will give you another example where we use these results to assess the impact already. Now the year 2016 had been declared as the year of eradication of child labor, and we did a survey in 2016 on it's called Child Activity Survey, and we found that the child labor in the country in 2016 was 1% of the total child population. And if you take the most dangerous form of that one, called hazardous form of child labor, it was estimated even low as 0.9%. Because if you remember, there were a lot of programs implemented countrywide to eradicate this child labor. We all know how dangerous it is. It's a social menace, and it will stop you going school, and you will not be in the right track if you are in child labor. And we all can be happy now because the child labor has been controlled, and these findings indicate that Sri Lanka is heading towards child labor free country. But I wanted to find out what is the level that with respect to which we can declare a country as child labor free country. Even UN does not have a proper definition, proper cut of that, but I met some heads of national statistical officers recently, and our joint view was, if it is less than 4%, you can declare that country as a child labor free country. If you go by that definition, we all can be happy that Sri Lanka is now a child labor free country. And I mentioned few things about demographic and health survey. Now I am talking about how the Department of Census and Statistics helping to use the statistics properly in decision making process, and I gave you two examples. The final example I am going to quote in this area is the demographic and health survey. This survey was conducted for the very first time in 1987, and we found that malnutrition levels were very high at that time. We alerted the government, and government took various measures to control the child malnutrition, and it has come down. And now since we conducted it in 2016, we will now come to know what is the child malnutrition situation in the country in few weeks time. And also the department is helping the users in using official statistics in the decision making process by using ICT tools in our statistical activities. And I can tell you very proudly, in 2016 we started using the CAPI method, that is computer assisted personal interviewing method, in data collection in our household surveys. Up to last year we had been using the paper based method for collecting data, and we completed the demographic and health survey very successfully in 2016 using this new method. And also now from 2016 onwards we are collecting data on the labor force survey completely using these tablet computers. My feeling is that within about next 2 to 3 years time, the department will be able to collect its all data in the household surveys as well as institutional surveys using the ICT tools. We have recognized that different users of our statistics have different needs and also different capacities with access to information and to use them. If you take, many individuals, especially these new users, they are not familiar with the what you might call traditional tools like desktop computers and these fixed telephone landlines. You remember, no? Once we used the internet and all that using that system, but now people are familiar with the mobile communication technology. So therefore, we have started disseminating data using social media. We have already started disseminating data using the Twitter, and also we are keeping our website up to date. Actually, our website was started as far back as 1999. I think this is the first government institution who came out with the website to disseminate its data, and also we did a census on the public and semi-government sector employment, where we used the SMS very widely to keep everyone aware about the employment census. It worked very well. It gave very satisfactory results. With all this technology, we were able to collect all the completed questionnaires within about 1.5 months time. It's a record in the department. And now let's come to our main theme, the use of statistics for better tomorrow. I search everywhere to how to define the better tomorrow, but I think I could not come out with the proper definition to suit with this particular area, that is using statistics for a better tomorrow. Maybe you may have come out with some definitions. I would like to hear later on if possible. And but I thought of defining it on my own way, and I also did some literature review in this area. And it is true that all of us dream of a better tomorrow, don't we? And a better tomorrow is a day, I think. A better tomorrow is a day when whole nation can stand on its feet as a proud, developed, and peaceful nation. I think that is our dream. And to achieve this one, it is very necessary to take bold, transformative steps to shift to sustainable development, ensuring that no one is left behind if you are going to go for a better tomorrow. And we all know that many countries are struggling with consequences of unsustainable growth programs harming the climate, people, and natural resources. You know what has happened to Australia since 2 days back. And the consequences include the droughts, floods, air pollution, land degradation, deforestation, rising sea levels, etc. Because of the severity of these consequences, now there is a great interest on the sustainable development. You will hear this term during the period of next 20, 30 years, the sustainable development. Now that is the theme of the whole world. And sustainable development is what? Sustainable development is development that meets the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. Now, to address this issue, UN intervened, and on 25th September 2015, all the countries in the United Nations adopted a set of goals to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure prosperity for all as a part of new sustainable development agenda. This sustainable development agenda, it is officially known as Transforming Our World or 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, is a set of goals with 169 targets and 230 indicators between them. Now till 2030 and even beyond, all countries of the United Nations will give high priority in their development agendas. If you take our own country, Sri Lanka, President has agreed already, and also we have established a separate ministry called Ministry of Sustainable Development, and a separate Parliament select committee has been appointed, and they are meeting regularly to review the process. And these indicators, now we talk about the sustainable development. Now how to measure the progress of achieving these goals? We need statistics. That is why they have identified the goals, they have identified the targets, and to measure the progress of achieving these goals, they have come out with 230 indicators. These indicators will serve for the development of implementation strategies of achieving the sustainable development goals, and also to ensure the accountability of all stakeholders. Remember, in our march to achieve these sustainable development goals, it is not the task of only the government. It is not the task of only one or two selected government institutions. The whole system should be geared towards that end. I'll tell you one example. If you take these 230 indicators, now I did the stock taking. It took like 6 to 8 months to complete this one. We will come out with the publication on that soon. When we assess the indicators that the department is compiling, the National Statistical Office of Sri Lanka is already compiling 39 sustainable development indicators. So we are producing those indicators in a very regular manner. But we can compile another 17 indicators by adding additional modules to the ongoing surveys and censuses. And it comes to about 56. So what about the rest of the things? So that is what I said. What we have here is a national statistical system. So all other official statistics producers should get together and come out with the framework. I said that we are going to come out with the publication. There we are going to list out the indicators that department is compiling based on the ongoing surveys and censuses, and we are going to give all the baseline data. Luckily, as I told you, we conducted 4 household surveys. The values for number of SDG indicators out of these 39 will be available for 2016. How lucky we are, because we will have baseline data for 39 indicators. And then from 2018 onwards, we will start collecting information to compile the 17 indicators that I talk about from 2018. And then I told you that we have a separate ministry called Sustainable Development Ministry. So now it is their role now, together with the NSO, to call meetings of all the other stakeholders and get them bound to compile the indicators coming under their purview, get them bound in the sense we will have to agree on when they will release it, what are the organization involved, how frequently they are going to release this indicator, likewise. And one of the uses of these indicators, as I told you, is to monitor the progress of achieving these goals. And to do this one, statisticians together with all relevant stakeholders have a role in making available these statistics accurately, reliably and in timely manner, because those are essential to show where goals are being met, where they are not, and also focus on attention on the need for immediate action. Now, however, I said that there are 230 indicators. However, still the definition of some indicators are not clear out of those 230, and sometimes those are not relevant to individual countries. So we need to localize it, and also development of methodologies in compiling these indicators are yet to be established. Now we have a United Nations Statistics Division. They have a document giving the metadata or the definition of these 230 indicators. You will see that there are some indicators for which the definition is not there. And if I am going to give you another example, now there is an indicator on the basic services. Now, normally here we consider basic services as availability of safe drinking water, availability of electricity. Now there are a number of things that we can think of. There are some countries where they have taken as availability of postal facilities as the basic service, because that postal service in that country is not that regular. So therefore we will have to give a clear thought onto this, and we will have to come out with our own definitions, and also we have to establish methodologies in compiling these indicators. Today I am addressing you all as students, lecturers, researchers, and therefore I thought of requesting you to focus your research studies on these sustainable development goals in this area, because you can contribute a lot while pursuing your academic careers. I repeat it, that is what I said at the beginning. I wanted to make an appeal, I wanted to make a request to you all, because the blend of this academic side and the National Statistical Office is very, very important. This is not the case only in the country, in everywhere in the world. The definitions of these indicators and also methodology in compiling these indicators are still questionable for some of the indicators. I'm not saying it is for all. Therefore we can contribute. We as academic community can contribute, and they will recognize it. You can go, there are many documents available in the sites. So I request Dr. Dilhari, so you can guide your students also in this direction. Our department can give any support, and because this is the topic that is going to be discussed during the next 20 years time. No country is perfect in getting all value for all these 230 indicators, and in Japan they can produce only 16 values for only 60 indicators. But we need to localize this and start producing data for this one. If data is not there, people will take decisions on their own. So therefore, if we don't have baseline data, we can't think of what we are going to do, and also you can't assess the projects if the data is not available at desired frequencies. And the theme you have selected for this year is Statistics for Better Tomorrow. In a better tomorrow, as I told you earlier, we all and our unborn children will proudly stand as a happy and developed nation. As explained, statistics are instrumental in measuring and managing the development process. Remember, development results we are going to achieve by 2030 will largely depend on the availability and appropriate use of timely and quality statistics on the 17 goals. I'll tell you, during the next 20 years, the whole world will be talking about these 17 goals and 169 targets and these 230 indicators. It's a very practical way of achieving the developing a country, because now it is well documented. If you want to develop the country, you have to achieve these goals, and then we have set up a mechanism. Look, we need to have data for these indicators, so therefore you have to keep on compiling and monitoring these indicators. I am sure that the Stat Day organized annually by the Stat Circle of the University of Colombo will some way contribute to increase the awareness among many parties of the important role the statistics play in all aspects of social and economic life in the country and preserving the environment for the prosperity. So let me wind up wishing you all the best for yet another successful Stat Day. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your invaluable thoughts and insightful knowledge with us. Sir, please remain on stage to accept this token of our appreciation. Web Coordinator Passan will present the token.